In the second week of the BBB Season 1 tournament, we'll be continuing our Tournament Spotlight series with another best of 5 game between two players, this time between Butcherbird as the green side and red side Will Francesco. Now, Will Francesco is known to be one of the few ogre players in the tournament scene, but this time we're not focusing on our favorite fat boys here, but more on the Beastman, who has a great counter to the ogre kingdoms. The secret lies in their spellcaster and their unique lore of magic, the lore of the wild Traitor-kin. Theoretically, it is good against single entities, but actually, it is good against anything with a low model count, and that is basically 90% of the ogre's roster. Every unit having less than 20 models and each model having a thick HP pool, that means they'll receive everything from every tick of damage of the spell, especially when it can target multiple units as an area of effect spell, starting from the Fire Belly here, and of course that isn't the end. The Slaughtermaster, the 2 Crusher, one of them, the Iron Fist, one of them, the Great Weapons, and 2 more Saber Tusk packs, and you can see that they all have some noticeable damage dealt to them. And if we click on the Bray-Shaman to check on their damage value, there's not a lot of kills, but already almost 500 gold worth of damage. After reaching the end by fast forwarding, we can see the conclusion of the spell. 600 gold worth of damage value. That is some insane stuff indeed. At the same time, Will Francesco probably made a mistake in the army build. There's no ogre artillery on the field, which means the Sentinels with throwing axes are free to fire however they want without the risk of receiving counterfire from the ogres, able to do some massive damage to the Crusher units. And now a second cast of the Traitor-kin is dumped onto this blob, as the ogres does rely heavily on concentrating their heavy hitters into a section to overload their enemies. But this also gave Butcherbird a chance to cover all these key ogre units with a single Traitor-kin cast. Over half of the army's value is being drained by a single spell, including all 3 Crushers, the Iron Fist one, the Great Weapons ones, and even the Regiment of Renowned Sky Striders. On top of that, the collateral damage covered the Saber Tusk packs and the Nobblers as well, giving Butcherbird a little bit more value from his magic. And if we go back into fast forward and check out the damage value on the Bray-Shaman, other than some minor melee damage against the Nobblers, he actually dealt almost 1200 gold worth of damage value. For a foot character that costs less than 1000 gold, that is very impressive, and he still has a lot of magic left to go. Remember, this is not exactly the most expensive spell, with only 11 winds of magic needed. Even if you overcast it, that's still only 18 winds of magic. Also, it is a green tier spell, so it doesn't cost the most money either. Anyways, the Sentinels will be finishing off the weakened Crushers with Iron Fist, as well as the remaining Sky Striders here. Just a lot of skirmishing firepower, really. At this point, the ogre characters are extremely battered, and they have also been hit by a third Traitor-kin. I totally missed that earlier, but you can still infer it from the damage value on the Bray-Shaman, over 1500 gold worth of damage value. The Bray-Shaman might be routed now, but he surely put a heavy dent in the balance of power of the ogre army. At this point, it is basically cleanup action for Butcherbird's Beastmen. And all that's left in the middle are some Nobblers who will not be holding on for long against these Beastmen hordes. And as such, Butcherbird has won the first victory in the entire Best of 5 series. GG to both players and a great first game of the Best of 5 series. If we have a look at the Beastman army, you can see that the idea of this build is quite straightforward, using the Ungol Spears to deal with all the Nobblers and the possibly Ogre Bulls, while the Sentinels, the melee one, will be clearing out the Saber Tusk packs as well as harassing the possible missile backline of the Ogre Kingdoms. The Sentinels will be the main damage dealers with their armor-piercing missiles here, in case there are any Crushers or Mournfang Cavalry or any big giant monsters like Stone Horns, using their speed advantage to kite away the sluggish Ogre units. While the Minotaurs will be a powerful melee core to break through the Ogre Kingdom's front line with their anti-large armor piercing. The leadership would be the supporting elements here, with Morgor the Shadowgave dumping down those Chaos Spawn summon, and the Bray-Shaman, the sole purpose is to drain away the Ogre's health with the Traitor-kin, and that is exactly what he did. Over 1500 gold worth of damage value here, draining away the health of the Ogre Kingdom leadership and a lot of these key Ogre units, noticeably weakening them throughout the combat, using that direct magic damage to bypass their heavy armor and melee defense, doing some very cost effective damage.